All right, we are going to be editing our 5 photos in Lightroom using the online Lightroom. And I left the Lightroom link underneath your quick links. It might look a little different than this, but you'll click on Lightroom and this will take you to lightroom.adobe.com. Chances are your screen's going to look a little different than mine. So you're going to go to, there's usually a sign in button around here. You'll click on the sign in, use your school email and log in to Adobe Lightroom. Here I have a bunch of photos because I've been using Lightroom for quite a while, and you should be able to have a browse or add photos button where you can add your photos that you downloaded previously. So your task was to find 5 photos using Google Images or Pixabay. They should be large-sized images, and I showed students how to find those images previously. If you need help with that, please talk to me. Okay, we're going to click Select Them here. I'm just going to be adding my photos directly to Lightroom, and I can go ahead and just select here and then hold down Shift, and then I can select those 4 as well. We'll click Open. I have 4 photos so far. And I'll find a 5th one here as an example. Let's see what other images. I'm going to find, I really like architecture, so maybe I'll find an architecture example. And I'm not worried about copyright or anything. This is just a chance to practice some editing and to get a feel for, actually kind of like this one, get a feel for using Lightroom when you're trying to edit an image. Click Download. Okay. Okay. And I'm going to add that photo in here, so you can always add more than one. Should sort them by date here. Upload one photo. Say finish. Awesome. All right. Now you can look through your added in past 30 days. And they should start showing up. Oh, that's still loading. Looks like. We're getting there. I'm going to hide that. Okay, we'll just start with this one here. Okay, so you click on your photo, whatever photo you want to start with. So we're just going to be editing or doing something to each individual photo, okay? So our first assignment or first edit is going to be turning a photo black and white. So this is probably the easiest one. Whoops. Oh, look at that. So cute. Good Lord. There we go. All right. How do I get rid of that? Oh, no. I did not want that. Delete. Okay, I think it deleted. All right, here we go. We're gonna go into the assignment. So it says photo editing and then take a color photo and change it to black and white. Okay, so this is probably the most straightforward. There's actually a few ways you can do this. Underneath your presets, there are black and white options, so like portraits, black and white, and this will turn images black and white, okay, with varying preset, exposures and temperatures and things like that. Okay, there's also style black and white. So that's just a really quick way to do it. If you want to do it the old-fashioned way, if we go back here, and you can just do this undo button as much as you need to. We'll go all the way back so it's a color image again. I'm going to go to my edit adjustments here, and if I scroll down to my saturation button and I just bring that down, that automatically will make an image black and white. Okay, so we'll just leave it like that. That's good. You can also adjust like your shadows in here too to kind of adjust what that black and white looks like. Like maybe you want the sky brighter, the blacks darker, the exposure darker or brighter, whatever you want. Okay, I'm going to download this now. So I have my first image. It's been turned black and white. I got number 1 done. So pretty quick. We're going to do JPEG full size, and that's going to export to your downloads. Okay, now while that's exporting, we can exit out. We'll go to my next photo. Let's see if I can find it. Okay, we'll just do this horse one next. Okay, the next editing is to crop and flip a photo, and you're going to flip it horizontally or vertically. So we'll go into Lightroom again. We're going to go to our crop function here. And cropping is where you can crop something out, right? So you can just crop a little bit. It doesn't have to be a whole lot. I'm going to crop just like to the horse's eyes. Okay, I'll hit enter on the keyboard, and now it's been cropped. And then we're also going to flip it. So go back to that crop and rotate. If you flip horizontally, that's this one here, you can see that it flips the image either that way or that way, whichever way makes the most sense. I'm just going to do it this way. Okay. And then once again, we're going to download that and it'll go to my downloads. And I'll go to my next image. And the next editing is using color grading to make the midtones and shadows warmer. Okay, so we need to go into not our presets, we're going to go into our editing. We're going to scroll down until we find color grading, which is right here. It's those three little dots. Okay, so color grading, and then it shows midtones, shadows, and highlights. And the instructions were to make the midtones and shadows warmer. Now, what are warm tones? Those are warm colors. Like think your reds, your pinks, your yellows, your oranges. Okay, our cool colors are our greens and our blues and our purples. So we're going to try and stay on this side of the color wheel. Those reds and pinks and yellows and oranges, okay? So if I boost the midtones, this is actually a really good image for this too. So I'm boosting those midtones to be a little warmer, a little more orange, right? Maybe I want my shadows to be a little more pink, okay? It's already definitely a lot warmer. It's not a cool image anymore. We could just leave it at that. If you want to adjust your highlights too, feel free. You can really go crazy with it. Just really amp up those warm tones. And then you're going to, once again, download that image. Okay. Fourth one, you get to make your own preset. So we're going to go into Lightroom, close that one out. I'm going to grab a new photo. Let's do this one here. I believe this is a photo from, oh, I forget the name of the library, but it's in Dublin, I believe. Okay, we're going to go into presets. And you can actually make your own presets. So I actually have a bunch up here that I've made. You can download some too, but making presets are really cool. So that's especially useful when you have a lot of photos that are similar to each other and you want to apply the same edits to multiple photos. So it just saves a lot of time. So in this case, we're going to go to edit. We need to actually like edit the photo first to what we want it to be, and then we can save that preset. So you decide what your preset's going to be. Is it going to have like a higher or lower contrast or exposure? Are you going to adjust the highlights? Are you going to adjust the color? Maybe you want it to be a little cooler or warmer. Maybe you want it to be really vibrant, increase that vibrancy or that saturation and really like play with that. You decide what that preset's going to be. So I could even like increase my clarity or play around with the dehaze, like maybe I want to lighten that or something. Okay, let's say, okay, that's my preset. What I'm going to do is, now that it's been edited, I'm going to go back to my presets. Okay, I'm going to click this little plus sign, and that just means create new. And you're going to give it a name, and it needs to be a unique name. I'm going to call this like Nostalgia 80s, just because it kind of gave me that like 80s vibe, kind of washed out those like lighter, like almost aqua and pink tones in there. Okay. Now it's called Nostalgia 80s. If you go to yours, you should have it under there, and mine has a lot. So I'm going to go down here. It's all alphabetical. Nostalgia 80s right there. Now here's the cool thing. If I exit out of this and I want to go to a different photo, which I'll do right now, let's go to this one, and I want to apply this preset. I can go in here, find that Nostalgia 80s underneath my, maybe, user presets. There we go. It's like, where'd they go? Nostalgia 80s. And it just applied that preset there. So I could come back and use this over and over and over again. I'm not going to do it to the next photo. I'm going to keep it on that library photo. So I'll go back to that library one that I've already edited. I'm going to export this, though, or download it, I mean. Here we go. So there's my preset. Okay. And the preset will be on Lightroom. And the very last one is to create a mask to edit part of your photo. So this is the one where I'm going to open up that other image of that little cottage. We're going to mask part of the image. So what is masking? Masking just means you're taking part of an image and you're going to change it. So we have these like AI functions, which are, you know, they work okay. There's also a brush function and gradient and all sorts of things. So feel free to kind of play around with that. I'm just going to do sky and see if it'll recognize the sky. And we should see it turn color. Yep. So it turns kind of this like pinky red color. So it's showing that it's just going to be editing the sky and nothing else. So the cool part about this is now that it has the mask and it shows the mask right here, I can scroll down and I could say, well, maybe I want the exposure to be lower or higher, or maybe I want the shadows to be darker or lighter. Maybe I want to change the color of the sky, right? Maybe I want to increase the clarity of the sky or dehaze it, make it lighter, more like you can see those clouds there. I'm going to change the color to more of like a aqua blue. Cool. You can also select a color in your photo. Play around with noise reduction, all of those things. So that's masking. And then once you've changed part of your image, whether it's the sky or the subject, the background, you're going to download that. Now, the whole point of this is to introduce you to several different editing techniques and things that you can try. And then I can compare your edited photos to the non-edited. So the edited photos will be in this assignment under photo editing. You're going to upload them here. And then in the 5 photos assignment, you're going to have your just unedited regular images. So when I'm grading these, I'm going to be looking at your regular one compared to your edited image. All right, if you have any questions, feel free to raise your hand. Otherwise, enjoy editing using Lightroom.